Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the inaugural Yak World Cup. And what a fine day it is for some horse racing. 74 degrees and sunshine, and the stands are packed to the brim with fans ready to cheer on their favorite horses. Now, of course, when we do say horses, we mean that very loosely. There's a wide variety of animals in today's event, along with a wide variety of jockeys. So without further ado, let's meet our competitors in today's race. Coming in first is none other than KV No Swag. Former Division I wrestler at Kent State University, KV's elected to ride a horse with a vintage wrestling singlet, as well as some protective wrestling headgear, so a nice nod to the past for Kyle Bauer in the 1 spot. In the 2 spot is Kate, maybe the most controversial entry in today's race when you consider the fact that she's fully 9 months pregnant. Nevertheless, she's taken her adult braces out for this one, and she and her unicorn are 100% ready to take on today's course. Next up is Roan, who's fared the best of anyone in past competitions on the Yak, athletically speaking. He also gets maybe the most sturdy of anyone on the Yak, which is certainly reflected in his skateboard riding horse. The drip is real. Now this is an interesting one. Coming behind Roan is none other than Nick Terraini, who's riding on what seems to be a giant emperor penguin. A risky choice, as he's the only jockey riding on a 2-legged animal. We'll see how that factors into this one. Regardless, the Clicky fans are alive and well at today's event. We now head to the back half of our participants, starting off with Brandon fucking Walker, who was nowhere to be seen until about 5 minutes ago when our camera crew found him laying face down in a bush to avoid the sunlight. Thankfully for Brandon, this race should be over fairly quickly. Next up is Lil Sasquatch in the 6th spot, the youngest of our competitors today. He told us prior to the race that he slept for 19 hours leading up to this. Pair that with some sugar-free bowls, and he's ready to get after it in this one. After Sass comes the one, the only, Big Cat, driving in his signature frambulance. Of course, a nod to his revolutionary idea to combine a fire truck and an ambulance into one life-saving vehicle. But can it save him from defeat in this battle on the tracks today? We'll have to wait and see. But before we do, we have to get to the 8th spot. Last but certainly not least, it is Stephen Shea. Now, typically, something catastrophic always happens to the 8th entry in these races, but surely, nothing wrong will happen to the former VP of Football Operations at Barstool. That's going to do it for our participants in this one. They'll all make their way to the starting gates momentarily, and as they do, we'd like to thank you again for tuning into the Yak World Cup. We now turn you over to our starting ceremonies. They're off as Kate gets out to the early lead straight from the starting gate. She's followed closely by KB, who's followed closely by Roan. Those three are tightly grouped together at the front of the pack. But now here comes Sass, not too far behind. He's starting to pick up some ground. And same with Big Cat, who's gaining on Sass in the frambulance. Brandon started slow, but he's getting a good churn going now with his fat-ass pig. Nick needs to make something happen here, or else he could get passed by Stephen Shea on the wobbly rocking horse. Now all of our racers come around that first bend. Stephen Shea, boy, does he look like an idiot on that horse. And oh, he's going to combust right on the spot. The horse's head goes flying. His limbs go flying. But who knows? Anything could happen here in Yak World Cup. He could come back in this one, folks. But we go to the front of the pack once more. Roan is taking the lead. He now sits in first place. KB, not too far behind him. He's still in second. Sass is overtaking some people to move into the 3rd spot. But what is this? Hold on, we've got some antics out here on the track as KB is doing sit-ups on top of his horse. Sass is out here ripping a bait. Brandon looks like he's about to fall off his pig, and oh my goodness, out of nowhere, here's Nick Terraini surfing on a belly-sliding penguin. We got a race here, folks. But no, Sass just put a bait cloud right into Brandon's face. He gets derailed, and now he's going to get flattened by the frambulance. Here comes Big Cat back into the mix. We're shaping up for a great finish, folks. But what is this? Oh my goodness, here comes Kate. Kate, her unicorn is in labor. The unicorn is about to give birth. The frambulance trailing not too far behind. Worse doing skateboarding on top of the railing. This is craziness, folks. We're gearing up for a photo finish. Let's see what happens here. Oh my goodness, what is that? It's a beaver. It's the baby beav. The baby beav is going to cross the finish line just in the nick of time. Oh my goodness, the baby beav wins it in a photo finish. And Kate, thanks to her baby, is going to take home the crown. Thank you for joining us for the inaugural Yak World Cup. What a finish. We'll catch you next time.